Israel and the USA have viciously launched extensive attacks on Iran. These attacks were unprovoked. They are a brazen breach of international law. They have created a massive conflict that has spilled out across the Middle East. Iranian counterstrikes hit targets in Kuwait, Israel, Qatar, the UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. Jordan was also targeted. Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iraq have also been involved. Trump campaigned on no new wars. He promised peace. Now he has created a major regional conflict with a dozen countries directly involved. They are attempting to decapitate the Iranian government and destroy the Iranian military. The resulting power vacuum and disorder could be hugely damaging. They have recklessly endangered massive numbers of innocent people. They have endangered the global economy. And for what? So the deranged Israeli ethno-state has one less opponent. To distract from the Epstein pedophile scandal. It is disgraceful. The Iran regime is evil, obviously, but there are a lot of evil governments out there. That is no excuse to start major wars. The aggressor governments of Israel and the USA are also both deeply evil. Anyone who thinks that they have good intentions is an idiot. People keep talking about nuclear weapons. Iran was willing to give up its nuclear weapons program. Israel and the USA have nuclear weapons. They are in no position to lecture anyone. And this aggressive, volatile foreign policy making is the best way to incentivize nuclear proliferation. There is a reason they attacked Iran and not North Korea. This attack reinforces the need for nuclear weaponry. Some morons think this is some kind of humanitarian attempt at liberating the people. No. Israel and the USA have slaughtered many times more innocent people than Iran. In the opening stages of the war, their bombs massacred Iranian civilians. This is not a war of liberation. Will people ever learn? Violent military attacks create backlash that empowers extremism. Just look at Iraq, just look at Syria, just look at Yemen, just look at Libya. How many examples do you need? When will these morons learn? Radical Islamists have always benefited from US military intervention. That is how the Iranian regime started. Iran once had a normal, secular, democratic government. America launched a coup to replace it with a dictator. The backlash against this grotesque foreign meddling was what put the current regime in power to begin with. So this is not a solution to anything, and anyone who knows history knows that. Iran does have a very bad government, but they are a necessary counterbalance. They are the only counterbalance to Israeli expansionism and Sunni extremism. They are a major rival of Israel, Saudi Arabia, and ISIS. They have an awful government, but play a necessary role in the regional balance of power. This intervention is incredibly bad for New Zealand, and not just because it endangers the global economy. We are a small, defenceless country. We are completely reliant on the rules-based order. A country of our type does not survive in a brutal, might-makes-right environment. That is the kind of international order that Israel and the USA are currently creating. A brutal world where the strong take what they like and the weak suffer the consequences. Any New Zealander who is cheering for this is cheering for their own destruction. We are a small, weak country. We are totally dependent on a rules-based order. And we are allies of America. Look how America treated their allies in this war. Launching reckless attacks on Iran and leaving Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Bahrain, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia to soak up the missiles. As usual, it is America's weak allies that ended up getting hit. America launched the attacks, and it was their allies who had to face the horrific retaliation. We should be very concerned about that too. They have no regard for the rules-based order. They have no regard for their allies. and yet our government has nothing to say on this matter. They tepidly announced their support for the USA and denounced Iran's attacks. The gross absurdity of it, endorsing an attack and self-righteously condemning Iran's self-defense. These people are absolute scum. The world order that they are helping to usher in will see our nation destroyed. What the hell do they think this is? A small, weak country cheering on the demise of the rules-based order. I have never seen something more stupid. It really is a chickens for KFC type situation. Do they not see how this ends for us? We will go back to being someone else's colony. That is what happens to small nations in a might makes right environment. But right-wing New Zealanders are too stupid and too entitled to realise it. They take everything for granted, and now they are cheering for events that set in motion our eventual destruction. The government's approach to this is really like their entire foreign policy. Weak and pathetic. The announcement was senile and spineless, with Winston providing the former and Luxon the latter. On what grounds do they oppose Russia's barbaric attacks on Ukraine? On no grounds. They are mindless hypocrites. This helps to legitimize Russia's grotesque actions. Russia will be loving this. They may lose an ally, but they also lose their moral inferiority. It puts them on the same moral plane as the West. New Zealand needs to get serious. The world is becoming an extremely dangerous and violent place. We need to grow up and stop taking our security for granted. We need to push back against the decline. We need to work with similar weak nations to build security arrangements. We need to revitalise our military. The current government is too weak and useless to deliver this much-needed agenda. They need to go. This is not the 1990s, 2000s, or the 2010s. We are living in an unforgiving and ruthless era. We need a government that can grapple with that reality.